All right. Hey, everyone. This is Matt from drawingtutorialsonline.com. Welcome to another live stream. In this class, I'm just going to be chilling out and drawing a figure with the COL-ERASE pencil on just basically Strathmore 400 series paper. It's just a hangout session. There were no requests this week for drawing something specific, so I figured, hey, let's just practice. Let's use this live stream for practice. Now, how's the sound for everybody? You let me know how the sound goes, and if you can't hear me, that would be awesome. And I also would appreciate it if you say hello in the comments and maybe leave a request for a future lesson. That would be phenomenal. Okay, that's enough of me talking, and I'm going to switch cameras and let's get to drawing. Okay, and let's see here. So let me do this. Let's go to a different screen. You don't really need to see me. I'd rather you see the reference like a little bit bigger. And just let me know how the sound goes, making sure that the sound. Hey, Angelia, thank you. And even since I just switched cameras, the sound is good this way too, right? Let me know with this new setup. Okay, so what do you see here on the screen? Well, basically, I started my pre-warm-up before we had the live lesson here, and I'm just going to kind of fold this little piece of paper. And so I think it's actually really super duper important for you to do like a pre-game. This is what I call it. Hey, Michael, welcome. I think it's really good that you pre-draw. If you're going to spend like an hour or two on like drawing from a photograph, you should sketch it out quickly. Now, you know what I like to do. What I like to do is I really like to do my warm-ups with the circles. They're really not circles, they're really ovals. And I kind of have like a really light touch today. I was a little, I woke up, I guess it's called the Easter holiday food hangover. I normally don't eat that type of food, and very indulgent type of food. And let's just say, needless to say, I'm feeling it because leftovers and all that. Because we usually have people over my house, so we had like a lot of leftovers. And I don't know, like. I have this idea that the leftovers can't go to waste. So yeah, I ate way too much, and I'm feeling it. Like I don't eat that way. So okay, excuses. All right, so there's my warm up. Boom, done. Okay. So yeah, I like to. This is kind of looks a little bit like the head we're going to draw this afternoon in my Zoom class for members of drawingtutorialsonline.com. So I was trying to remember the crux of that as well. It was a head, and it's kind of like going in a shape like that. And then this model had like what's that character's name from Star Wars, Princess Leia, kind of ear things with the hair. And yeah, so I did that for a warm-up. So for me, my warm-up is always ovals, anything circular. Okay. And then for you, what you should try to do is you should really try to do like a pregame. Try to just draw the figure very, very quickly and see how that goes for you. Okay, enough of that. Let's get started now. Just remember, I'm a repeater. I like to repeat things. When you photograph your artwork on white paper, it's imperative that you put a grayscale on this white paper like this so that it normalizes to a certain extent for the camera, the white balance, and it just photographs better. The paper doesn't come out so very dark, and whenever you can do that, do that. Okay, so actually I'm going to lift this up and then I'll drop it in a moment. So before I get started with this drawing, I want to make sure that I give myself like a mark. Here's the top of the video camera, and this is going to be the side, so I can fit this model in on the sheet here. And oh, there's the bottom. Okay, cool. And here's the right. Oh boy, this is exciting, isn't it? Okay, so now what's my live area today? Well, my live area it's kind of small. So I'm about like 8.5 inches from my live area. This for me, hey Paul, welcome. This for me is a little bit too small for drawing the figure, but I've got to also take into consideration I only have like an hour today to draw, so I think that's fine. It maybe will go like a little bit longer than an hour. Now I'm gonna switch to the non-nudity version of this picture because I want to be able to see the whole body and not with those marks. But I've got to be careful I don't get myself into trouble here on YouTube with the nudity and all that. So I put those marks there. I'm going to be drawing in less than 30 seconds. I'm just trying to set up my photo reference so I can optimize its size. And I really like to draw from the site size method. I like that. So I try my very best to get the photo to be the close to the size that I would like to draw it. But actually, for now, I'm just going to focus in on this torso, and then we'll branch out to the feet and we'll branch out to the arm. I can't even see the arm right now, but it's all good. All right. Now, I was watching, I was clicking around YouTube and I was watching some other person do a live stream, and they were just like so chill. And they're like drinking coffee, they're brewing coffee, like they're making bread, and then they're drawing. I feel like I just got to kind of like get to it and not waste too much time. So I'm starting here, okay? And one moment, I just want to make sure. I don't want to restart this. Bear with me, everybody. Okay, wonderful. So I'm starting here, and when I start here, I ask myself the question, do I have enough room for the feet? Do I have enough room for the head? Do I have enough room for that arm? Maybe, and maybe. Close enough. So I really should be concerned with the left side the most because of the feet. So maybe I'll move this over ever so slightly to the right. And okay, so shoulders, and then I'm going to zoom down this model's upper back, mid back, to the hip and to the butt. Don't overthink it. And then I'm going to wrap around, and then I'm going to draw through the breast. We've got the rib cage, and then this kind of angles down. And so I've got that little thigh right over there, and now we've got the center line for our model's butt. So, okay, that's my first go through. Now, I did that, and I think I barely have enough room for the feet with all of that, but this is how I'm starting, okay? Now, this is probably awful on YouTube. You can probably barely even see what I'm doing. So let me go a little faster now, and let's see. Comments, Artem, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to start here, and yes, okay, perfect. And I'm going to look at this hip. And then this side of the glute is a little bit higher than this side of the glute. So this glute drops down, and it's kind of like a little bit more flat over here because it's kind of on the ground. Not totally on the ground, but kind of, sort of. And then we're going to kind of wrap around this side. We're going to just call that gluteus medius area. And then we'll come back up this side to where the rib cage sticks out. And then we've got like the rib cage right over here. So I love drawing outlines. It's my favorite thing to do. I like to try to get the pose with the outlines. Now this isn't really helpful teaching wise, but what I could say is in my mind when I'm doing this, I'm asking myself the question, hey, what's right across from the bottom of that glute? What is right up above that thigh? We didn't get there yet, but these are the things that I'm thinking about when I'm drawing. Maybe I can lift this up ever so slightly, and then, yeah, so, okay, I'm going to kick that over, and then this should curve, no straight lines, up to the shoulder. Now, this is very high. Okay, so now I'm going to push out the rib cage. Now, I'm barely putting down any pressure. Now, I asked myself the question, what's right below where the rib cage touches the breast? And it's certainly not the thigh, so that needs to be over to the right. So you can get the breast in if you like. You can draw through it also and put it in after the fact. So I'm going to put that in, and now we've got this kind of lat muscle area, and that's going to roll in. So let me not get too stuck. Okay, now it's up to you what to do next. Could you suggest this leg? I'm looking at the height here with the lower leg with the foot as another torso peanut shape, and this heel. Let's see. I'm looking at my other reference because this one's pretty faded. Um, with the light that's coming down, hitting the paper, it kind of washes it out a little bit. I'm going to get that foot and kind of a rough indication of that foot. And just a target, nice and light over there for placement. It's not perfect, and don't worry about it being perfect. Now I'm going to go across, and right across from the bottom of the butt is this foot's. That's where that foot is. Okay, adjustment time. So I'm going to maybe put that foot there. Good. And now the other foot kind of angles down a little bit in perspective. And let me just put it in loosely like that. I can always adjust it. Now, before I go any further, I've got to draw a little bit in the middle. I'm struggling with balancing the figure. I don't get the whole idea of ITQ. So I don't know what you mean about balancing. Is that you mean like the legs are too big or the head is too small? You mean that sort of like proportion thing? So for me, like I just really enjoy always mapping out the torso first. I get best results with that. And I think it's the easiest way to draw the figure is to draw the torso first because it's a fairly simple shape. Okay, so we've got the torso, which is extremely tall. And so now I've got to ask myself the question, what about the head and the hair? So the hair is the bottom of our model's hair is to the left. I'm going to go with this line for the edge of the torso. And I'll zoom in momentarily after I get like this pose kind of somewhat mapped out. Because I know I was on the train coming home last Wednesday from the city from teaching, and I was curious. I clicked on my video to see how many views I had, and I started watching it on my phone, and I'm like, oh my God, that is small. And so, yeah, I don't want it to be too small. So I'm just going to indicate this shoulder and then this arm. I've got enough room for it. Okay. And then that arm. But I'm not too concerned with that arm right now. I just want to get an indication in of that head, and I'm cool with that. So this is what we would call the first go through. Now, I think I kind of have the hips a little too thin. They need to be like a little bit wider, and I think that would be better. So I can always adjust that. Okay, let me just take a pause here, reset my eyes, and look at some of these comments. Deadman Doogie Van Doggerson, my God. Great job fitting 3 camera views onto one screen. Great balance given the 50. Okay, cool. I appreciate that, you acknowledging that. And Stacy, welcome. Glad to see you. And Constantinus, hello. Artem, what stage do you develop design core shadow, aka border between the light and shadow? I think that's going to be next, okay? For me, I really like just doing my edge line thing, trying to kind of place it on the paper first, and then lean back. And I definitely feel like the hips need to be wider. And okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the line that separates the light from the shadow, because you don't want to leave the inside empty like this. And I also feel that maybe the breast needs to be moved over to the right. But before I decide that, I think the center line of the spine in the mid-back is most important before we even think about the line that separates. So now I'll do scapula, line that separates, edge of the scapula, and then it kind of comes into a rib over here. This is under the breast. You don't want to be too complicated with this. And then lower back. And now I look at where that shadow stops in the bottom of the butt. So it stops a little bit higher than that. So I'm going to come on up into the dimple of the sacrum and then around. So there's another little dimple of the sacrum. And then I think I'm going to push this out because I want the wider hips. I think that's better for this particular pose. And so I'm barely pressing down hard on my pencil. I know this is not too exciting to watch. I'm gonna start to get it a little bit better here in a moment. So my whole goal is to make this wide enough. That's the pose. Like if I screw up on that, then I screwed up the pose. So I'm gonna go even wider still, and wider. Okay, I think that's cool. So now what I'll do is I'll perhaps come on in with a generic diagonal, excuse me, pencil stroke, just like this to map out that shadow. And this is going to help me see the pose. Now, this is very, very traditional style of drawing. And then maybe I'll do this like little shadow over here on that side of the butt, and making sure that I have the center. And now I can do the shadow on this side of this model's butt. And that's going to help me really figure out my widths, because now what's happening is I'm drawing with shapes. And you have to draw with shapes. Like, well, you don't have to do anything, but I highly recommend that you draw with shapes because they help you to see things clearer. Like, sure, can I see things just with line? Yes. Does it help me when I draw with shape? Yeah, it most certainly does. Hey, Elijah. So this a reference. I've been buying a lot of my reference. I really need to see if they have like an affiliate link, so I can put a link to this reference. It's Graphit Studio and .com, and they've got thousands upon thousands of photo references, and they're pretty reasonable. So that's where I get my photo reference. I used to photograph models, but it just started to become a real hassle, and it's actually extremely expensive. I'd have to lug all my photography equipment into the city, and then I needed to like reserve the room, and paying for the models on your own is much, much more expensive than buying a model pack. So yeah, live and learn. And I used to always photograph my own models, but now there's so many good resources online. Why not just take advantage of it? Okay, so with this particular model, hey, Helen, I'm not going to make this evening's class. Okay, I got you. We're going to draw a really cool portrait. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so now, what should I do next here? So what I should do next is I'm going to draw the cast shadow on the ground, because that's going to help me place. So actually, what I'm going to do here is because I want to zoom in soon, so this is going to be bigger. I'm going to do a connector line. So it's the cast shadow. Okay, it goes into this foot, and then it connects with this foot. So that's a nice connector line, and that helps you see the whole pose. And then I'm going to kick out this thigh, this upper leg, a little bit more, and this just becomes a triangular shape over here. And now we've got the lower leg. I'm just keeping it simple right now, and this foot, maybe I'm going to kick this out a wee bit more. So I've got that shape. Is it perfect? No, but it's good enough for me right now. Okay. So oh God, I put like what the hell? Why did I put mid-roll commercials? I apologize. I won't do that anymore. I don't like the mid-roll commercials. Okay, so now listen to me, everybody. I make like barely any funds from YouTube, barely any. So yeah, I don't think the mid-roll is going to help me. Okay, I zoomed in. That's a little bit better. And I should drop the paper. So if you can just indulge me for a moment, I want to adjust my paper. So this is on the screen because I really did feel like it was too small. That is better. Okay, now I'm just trying to get it so it's somewhat level. It's okay. Just bear with me for another like 20 seconds here while I just adjust this sheet of paper. Okay, good. Oops, that's no good. Almost there. Okay, so how long have we been working? We've been working for about like, I'm going to say 15 minutes because I talked for about 5 and we did like a warm up. So the warm up and the talk were about 5 minutes. So this is our we can call it like a 15-minute go through. Okay. So now I'm going to resharpen this pencil and I'm going to start all over again. And I'm going to just try to go to an area that makes sense to me. People ask me all the time, Matt, where do I start my drawing? Well, there's no one right place to start. You start where it feels easy to start, especially like if you're going to do like a longer drawing like this. So, okay, so I switched pencils because that point's going to break on me. So I'm going to do this back here, which is bowed. We've got like a little subtle convex line that rolls in over here to the small of the back. So I'm going to go like a little bit darker there now. And yes, okay. And then this rolls into the little dimple of the sacrum, which should be a little bit higher now that I'm looking at that. And then, yes, then it rolls around. So I'm going to take my little mono zero and I'm going to erase that out. And I want this to be fairly light over here, so I'm going to erase a lot of that. Good. And I want to make sure that this area works for me. And use angles, like they're curved angles. It's kind of like an oxymoron. So this isn't like totally round. It comes in, it comes out, and then it starts to get like a little rounder over here. And okay, so that works for me. And so we're still in our second go through. So I'm going to come back and I'm just going to shade the shadow area and maybe look at the center of the butt. This side needs to be much wider than that side. So I could even move this over to the left a little bit more. And so I'm going to take my eraser once again. I keep putting it down. I should just, well, I don't even need to erase that. I just want to make sure that that center line is in a good place. So all these lines need to be extremely round. No straight lines here. Straight lines are like really, truly the kiss of death when it comes to figure drawing. And all right, so I'm going to tilt this. I'm still working on the edge because I want to make sure that I like it. No dumb questions, but are you still using the COL-ERASE pencil? Michael, I am, because I've still have like, I would say that I've got hundreds of them. So I'm keeping all of my old ones, and I've got boxes. I'm not going to get them all out of new ones, and eventually I'll run out. But I've switched up pencils quite a bit. Like I use this one only in the classroom, the Derwent drawing, and I've also started using this one in the classroom, the Lyra graphite stick, because it's better. Like I never ever use my COL-ERASE in the classroom anymore, because they're like, it's too slow. Like you need a fast pencil in the classroom for teaching purposes. And this is a very slow pencil. So the only time I ever use this pencil anymore is when I want to do a drawing like this, where I want to spend like a little bit of time modeling and doing something from a photo. And I never, ever use this with a model drawing. Just because I don't do long model drawings that much anymore. I used to, but not so much in the animation department. So now I'm kicking over the lat muscle a little bit more near the underarm. And so now I can erase that. Okay, so I'm trying to build up my confidence here with the drawing, and I'm going to come back to the small of the back and just try to get the spine area with these two towers of muscles on either side, the sacrospinalis muscles. They're very cylindrical and they run up both sides. I guess you can call them also erector spinae. because they keep your spine erect. And yes, okay. So now there's a reflected light on one side of the spine, and I'm going to use my brush soon to kind of speed this up. Now, this is the darker halftone right over here, and it goes into that line. So I'm just trying to get this to a place where I'm kind of happy with it. And I'm trying to get this dark that goes from the hair down to the small of the back. And then there's that reflected light that you see coming from a secondary light source or a reflector board. And this is the scapula. Scapula is kind of tilting up like that because the arm is up. And I just saw that there's a little bit. I don't have that much glare today, thank goodness. There's a cast shadow on the neck region, upper back region that the hair is casting. And so now what I want to do is I want to look at where this hip, lower back is, and then how high up is the hair. I think I'm pretty comfortable with where that's at. Now, this is too light, so I'm going to knock it down a value. You're running out. So the other colors are good too. Like one student requested that I do a blue pencil drawing in the Zoom class today on DTO. So I'm going to use one of the blue ones, which I haven't used in a long time. And the school issues pencils for the students at the beginning of the year, and they give them like a couple of terracotta and a couple of blue COL-ERASE pencils. And the students love them. And yeah, I just... I don't question things that are out of my control. Like I could say, why did Prismacolor do that? But that's just like a waste of my time to ask that question. It's just, as soon as that happened, and as soon as I still have enough that will last me, but I'm also been working on like an alternative, and I really love that Lyra graphite a lot. I wouldn't call it like my favorite, but I do really like it. So I think before you do anything, people, you got to get the shape of the model's hair. And so now I'm just going to add a little bit more tone down over here. I don't want to go too slow. Oh my God, we're already in. I'm going to try to do this for like 2 hours today. I don't know if I'll make it, but I'm going to try. And okay, so we've got this shape. Don't worry about that leg. Just get the shadow, like the model's lower leg. Don't even worry about that. Just get this shadow, blend it all together, and look at where the heel is in relationship to the butt. It's fairly close, and this is just a peanut shape, just like the torso, the bottom of the foot, and we've got a couple of those folds. Get the heel, get to where the foot meets the toes, and then get the toe. Okay, so just, suggest just like little ovals for these toes. Don't go too crazy with it. That foot's very small because it's semi-foreshortened. And now this other heel is in front of the toes, not touching the toes. It's off of the ground. And then we have this line that is the connector. And so we've got our heel, and then our foot, and then the big toe. Is that on the camera? Hopefully my head wasn't in the camera there. Okay, so that's my placement for the feet right now. I'm not going to get too concerned with the perfection aspect of it, and this heel's a little bit more in shadow. So just shade this, and shade this lower leg, and shade the cast shadow on our model's neck, and that's all I'm going to do right now. So now I'm going to get my brush, okay? Marie, hi Matt, Amazon and eBay sell the pencils. Do they sell them individually, Marie? Or is it the set of colors where you have to buy the yellow and all that? Yeah, they were rock hard. Oh God, I hate that. Yeah, my old ones get like, they get rock hard, these pencils, if you live in a dry environment. I hear you, Jake. Look. I draw with the little ones, and a student who came from Korea gave me this pencil extender. It's this aluminum pencil extender, and I like it because it's minimalistic. And so what I do is I take a hacksaw, because it's aluminum, and I cut it in half, and then I stick like these small COL-ERASE is in there. So I have one in the classroom, and it goes to about like there, and that works for me. I hate having this like little lip. Like, I don't like the other pencil extenders that I think it's a common brand, and it has the two pieces of metal up there. That's too like, I'm a baby. I don't like drawing with that near my thumb and my pointer finger. It's got to be somewhat smooth. So now I'm just going to take this brush, and I'm going to push the COL-ERASE pencil into the paper. Now, I could use a smaller brush like this and be even more aggressive, but I'm just going with the bigger brush right now because this is, to me, so easy to blend and shade in. Now, we're doing this in layers, people. Like, we're not going to power in the darkest dark like right off the bat. Like, you kind of want to do this like in a soft way for your first go through. Okay, so this is our first ghost-like go through. And I can start to blend it over. I can use residual that's on the brush. Okay, cool. And now, like, that erases out beautifully, beautifully. So, you know what? Let me just kind of go for the mono zero because the kneaded eraser, it's just not working for me today. I don't want to overuse this eraser because it leaves a little rubber on the paper. Okie dokie. Good enough. Good enough. Okay, so let's see here. And I'm going to go back to the starting point. This pencil, I'm noticing, is much harder than this one. So that means this pencil is old. I've had it for a long time. Because when you keep them, they get hard over the years. So, okay, I'm just starting to press down a little bit. I'm being stylized. I'm pressing down hard. Because I want the camera to have a little bit more to focus on. And something tells me this needs to be a little bit higher. As I've gotten older, I like being a little bit more stylized and less photorealistic. I used to always be into like the photorealism, especially when I used to be an illustrator. I'm kind of out of that mode a little bit more now. I guess you change over the years when you teach in the animation department. Everything is about like speed and fast and fast and speed. And so I've definitely changed my aesthetic a little bit. Also, the artists that I like, I've changed. I still like the older artists that I was into when I was an illustrator, like the traditional oil painters and all that. But I like more loose stuff as I've gotten older. It's easier for me. It's faster and it's more fun. I can still turn on the realism jets. I just haven't had the time to sit for many, many hours and just work on one drawing. I'm always kind of having to finish faster and faster and faster. Okay, so this dimple needs to be raised up. There's the reflected light over here. And the small of the back, I'm going to raise it up. So this deep spine right here, lumbar area. Going to go a little darker with this. This is taking me way too long. Okay, so dimple and dimple a little bit higher up from the butt. Put in some form lines. The triangular aspect of the bottom of the sacrum. There's a little shadow on that side of the glute. And then we have a reflected light. And then we're going to put some form lines in over here. We should wrap around this way. It's much more user-friendly. Curve around. Keep your light light. Keep your shadows shadowy. I'm going to make this leg a little bit bigger. And curve around. Curve around over here to show that muscle. Oh boy, somebody on the block got a go kart. They better not be coming down the block today. I'll be that old man that goes out and yells at them, right? Okay, so now let's work a little bit over here. So let's focus in on this rib and another rib. A little darker over here with the dark halftone. I'm just doing like a circular pencil stroke. Okay, so do you like, is that Damier or Damier? I love how his figures and his illustrations look like they're animated and move. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know who that is. Maybe I do, but I don't recognize the name. Maybe I've seen the work, but I'll have to look at them. My favorite all-time favorite artist with the pencil is Muka, and like though he could do anything. I really like his pencil work the most. Absolutely. Very, very hard to find. The museum only had like one of his pieces of art. It was pretty pathetic, like, and it was shoved in the corner. I don't think it could be anywhere near like a window for light. I think light would just disintegrate it. They had it in a corner, like in the dark. Like if you go to the Degas section of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, they're all like in the dark because I don't think the paper can see any light. It'll just work on disintegrating the paper. And so the Degas are in this very dark room, and the Muka's kind of right near the Degas. And when it's there, like the last time I went to the museum, it wasn't there. So I got to be careful with this deltoid. I don't make it look like a balloon. It needs to be not perfectly round. Needs to be like a little bit more complicated than that. Now I could, let's see, what time is it? We're doing okay. I could. So now look, see, we're all conserving our COL-ERASEs. I don't want to use my big COL-ERASE for shading. Like if I'm going to power in some darks over here, this hair is too far to the left. I'm going to use my shorter COL-ERASE. Okay, so this, look at the distance from here to here. Okay, this comes in and comes out and comes in. And what about the back of the hair? It's to the right of this line. So I'm cool with that, and it's tilting. Yeah, I've got 2 more weeks left of the spring semester at the School of Visual Arts, and I'm really looking forward to it. I like cycles, I like beginnings, and I like ends. They both have different feelings when you're a teacher. Like, I love the feeling of beginning a new semester, meeting new students, teaching them new things, and I also like the ending because you get closure and everyone moves on, and then you're on to the next thing. And so for me, it's I want to do more of these live streams. I want to build another course at my website, drawingtutorialsonline.com. I want to redesign certain things on the website. Now, where is this neck? So like that's like new beginning, right? So I'm beginning new things. Uh, yeah, so I like that aspect of being a teacher. So we've got 2 weeks left. So I'm just doing like a quick go through with the angles with the face. Um, I'm not worried about getting it perfect just yet. Just feeling it out, trying to get. I think I have the forehead too far. I think I've got the whole head too big and too far to the right, but we'll leave it for now. It's important that you go through it lightly to see if you're completely off, and I might be completely off, so I need to tilt that. Yeah, so I'll come back to that. So not bad, not bad, not bad. And I'm gonna just not worry about that arm right now because I'd have to make the photo reference so much smaller. If you want to work on the arm, go for it, but I'm gonna omit it right now. I'll just bring it to about here. And I just want to stick with the center. I think this would be better for me to do that. Um, oh yeah, I do any more sketchbook tours? Absolutely. Hey, Sparrow does stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I just one's coming out tonight. As a matter of fact, I think it's 5:30 or 6 p.m. And I've been posting a lot of them. I'm filming. I filmed two in school last Thursday. I'm filming two more this Thursday. So they're there. You just got to go to the channel and go to the sketchbook um, playlist, student sketchbook playlist, and there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of new ones, and they're all really good. I think Vivian's is most watched because I don't visit my YouTube dashboard often. I do it only like on um, Mondays and Tuesdays when I'm home from the city and I'm not teaching. So I'll visit, and Vivian's sketchbook has the most views, no doubt. All and people still watch that video. It's so old, and it's just amazing that I'm just glad so many people got something from that video. Okay, so I'm just going to use my little eraser. This is kind of silly, but I'm just doing that to try to get the proportions. Now, okay, so I'm going to just draw a little bit with my eraser. And I don't want to make the reflected light too light. I think that's good enough. I don't want to make this reflected light too light either, but I'm just doing it kind of for fun. Once you make that reflected light too light, you ruin everything. You ruin the three-dimensional form of the pose. So let me come back and make sure I got the length of the breast area. I think that's pretty good. And then we've got a convex, so we've got like a rib here. Another one. And this rolls in, and you've got to not end this line straight. It's got to curve. We've got a convex line over here that's curving in, a perspective line with that leg. And I'm going to erase this a little bit. Yeah. Okay. And let me come back down over here. I'm going to little darker. So don't immediately go in with the darks. Like just wait a little bit. I'll grab my sketchbook to join as well. Awesome. Yeah, everybody loves Vivian's, but there's a lot of other good ones. They may not be as animative and cartoony and character designy as Vivian's, but boy, there's a lot of good students out there. I don't know why this is fighting me here today, but I say that all the time. And then, like about a month ago, I did this portrait. I'm like, oh, this isn't coming out. I just looked at it and I actually like it. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. So I'm going to go back to this heel. I'm not going to worry about the lower leg. I don't want to make this too crisp. Okay, it goes into that little toe. One, two. Yeah, I've only got four. So I made the ovals too big. So I need to make these smaller. So this oval of the big toe goes up. Then the toe next to it overlaps that one. And the toes are curving around. And don't forget about the ball of the foot kicking out, and then it angles downward. And then the heel area angles up. Good. And I'm outlining it, which is kind of a no-no, but don't outline everything 100%. Okay, now this heel is a little bit higher up off the floor than that toe. The heel is kind of making an oval. Remember, everything in figure drawing is ovals, in my opinion. And then this kind of drops down. I don't want to press down too hard. Big toe. And I feel it's better if you don't outline everything. Okay, and make that a little less tall. Okay. Not bad for the placement. Not great either, but I think it's fine. Okie dokie. And let me just shade this leg a little bit more. Trying to get rid of the straight line. And notice I'm just making this all fade into nothing. You don't need to make that shadow so dark, dark. It could be like a mid-tone. It depends. Like, where do you want the viewer to look? I don't know. Maybe you want them to look in this area. I don't know. But just don't commit right away to make this area so dark. Just leave it a middle tone and then decide what you're going to do with it later on in the process. And there's a little cast shadow over here. A couple of form lines on the bottom of the foot. Usually when these models walk around the studio, their pads on the bottom of their feet get like all dirty, especially in a drawing classroom. And I'm sure this photography studio isn't the cleanest either because people are walking all over the place. And so the model's feet at the bottom always get dirty. Okay, and yeah, I used to set up like a white cloth, on the modeling stand, and then I'm like, please just be careful, like take your shoes off right before you get on the model stand because the cloth is going to go like black. It's going to be awful. So yeah, classrooms are usually very, very dirty with charcoal and stuff like that. Okay, curving that. Scapula curving in. The cast shadow on the upper shoulder of this model's hair. So we've got this hair over here. I Okay, so James, I have a big book of Muka Masterworks at home, and it doesn't have any pencil drawings in there. I didn't even know he did any. Oh my God, James, Jake, I've got two books. I'll try to show you at the end of this live stream. Um, that the pencil drawings in that book, like you cannot find them on Google. You can, but they're not high resolution. And these books are like my two of my favorite possessions. I don't really look at them much anymore, but when I do, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I found this book. And I found those books truly by accident in the Metropolitan Museum of Art gift shop. And I'm sure they sell them on Amazon. If you give you the ISBN number, and you can find them, no doubt. But I'm sure they were expensive. They were like $100 each when I bought them at the time, but they were worth like every penny because I didn't know anything about like those drawings when I was younger. They're not like in all like the art history books, and unfortunately, you find the Rembrandts and the Van Goghs and all that, not the Mucha stuff. But the Mucha stuff is really where it's at. So maybe I should go like a little darker here. Okay, where are we? Questions. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to get up off of my chair just to take like a little visual break from reset my eyes and grab a little drink of water because I've been sitting down here for an hour, and I'm going to go get the book. Okay, so just bear with me a second. Just getting a little drink of water first. Okay, so I don't know. Let's see. Let me look at my video here. I don't look at the size of this book. It's ginormous. It's actually really heavy. And I don't want to reset my camera, but I'm just going to flip. Oh my God. Yeah, these are I'm showing you these drawings, and then you're going to look at mine and it's going to be like, oh my God. So look at this. Look at this drawing. I mean, my God, once I saw these, I'm like, I don't know how to draw. And I know how to paint, but I don't know how to draw. And this one you can find online. It's actually so beautiful. Let me see if I can't find one or two more. There's like these little gems in this book, like this. Like that drawing is a gem. I can't tell you like how good that is. It's so good. Bear with me. I'm just looking for one more. Oh, and yes, Muka did use photo reference and put a grid on the photo reference all day long, people. So, like, there's a lot of people out there, and I love to draw out of my imagination, but some people do it to like a fault where they think if you use photos, you're cheating or something like that. I think that's nuts. Oh, God, here's another page. These are so good. These are so good. And I'm gonna find one more page, and then I'll get back to the drawing. Um, oh, there's so many good ones here. My God. Okay, time out. Time out. I'll just go with this page. So I like these because they're very gestural. Very gestural. Look at that. And look at how outlined they are. That's why I really love to do the outlines. They're very graceful. And yeah, that book's right there is a gem. Okay. All right, let's get back to this little sketch we've got going on over here today. Let me get my reference up. Yeah, that's a good book. Yeah, I've seen a couple of the Rubens are yeah unbelievable. Oh yeah, this book Sparrow does stuff is devoted just to the life work of Alphonse Maria Mucha, and I'm saying his name correctly because I can't say it I can, but it just doesn't feel right. Like you're supposed to say Mucha, but I like Mucha. So yeah, but yeah, that's just a book that's devoted to his life's work. Okay, so let me get this model's hair a little bit better and angle up, curve this way. And the ear placement is very important. So this ear, how far away is the ear from the shoulder? And now the jawline, don't go dark with that. Um, this is, oh, I see. And that neck is a little elongated because the model kind of feels like they're peering over like a box, which they are. It's a good pose. And lip, curve, bottom of the nose, curve the nose, and short forehead. And I'm just going to suggest the eyebrow. I don't even know. Yeah, you can see that. Suggest, and curve in. Oh, this eye needs to come in a little bit. I'll look at that chat in a second. I don't want to turn it into like a perfect portrait. You have to, this is a very tiny, tiny head on my paper. Like that face is like probably 7/8 of an inch, 3/4. 52 pounds sterling used on Amazon. um, okay, so this eye needs to be, and always go with the angles. when you're trying to figure out the head, not too round with everything. I think I'm just going to leave the head like that for now. I'll come back. Okay, so where are we? Let me just look at this chat. 52 pounds sterling used on Amazon. What does that mean, Paul? Is that the name of a book or? All right. I'm just trying to match the value a little bit more because matching the value on the model's hair will help you get the likeness. Let's see. Okay. When the summertime comes, um, or when college is over, I don't have to limit myself to the time. Today, I need to limit myself to the time, but I want to get this to a better place before I stop this live stream. Now, again, everybody, please, I'm always looking for ideas for live streams, and if you have any thoughts on what you would like me to teach, because this is just more of like a hangout session draw. I'm just talking about some things, but I'm not doing a drawing where it's a demonstration drawing. This is just more of a drawing. Um, oh, how much does it cost in the UK? Well, I don't know. I this book. Oh goodness gracious. This book is probably 19 or 20 years old because I bought it when my daughter was maybe like 1 or 2. She's 22 right now. I don't remember exactly. And back then at the Met, it was $100 probably and change. So I don't know what it would be nowadays. Just trying to, that eye needs to go back to the left. I don't know. I don't know the pounds thing. Little hair in front of the ear. Don't go dark in the ear. And the ear is casting a shadow. It's supposed to get really hot today, and I'm not ready to turn the AC on yet in my house, but I just started to feel the temperature up here. Nuts. I'm back. I got a cup of water. Okay, cool. Oh, that shoulder is terrible. Okay. I hope you're drawing along with me. See, the beauty of my website, drawingtutorialsonline.com, is that you take the whatchamacallit, the Zoom class. We have it every Tuesday. I teach a topic of the day for about an hour. The members have a say in what that topic is, and then we take like a honestly like less than a 5 minute break, and then what we do is we have a Q&A and everybody shares their artwork, and I look at their artwork. I ask them if they have any questions. I answer their questions. If they have a drawing question, like I can just switch and draw for them with a different camera. I can draw for them in Photoshop. And so that's the main difference between my website and what I do here, is that I actually critique member work two ways. I critique it in the critique gallery every single Monday. I've been doing that for I don't even know how many years, since 2009. Yeah, So I critique there, and then I also critique live on Zoom, the Zoom class, which we have at 2 o'clock today. So if you're looking for feedback on your artwork, just there's usually a link right under Bricks and Mortar School, and you want some feedback on your artwork. It's an easy way to get access to feedback, meaningful feedback from a teacher who's been teaching since 1997 at the School of Visual Arts. So I've seen thousands upon thousands upon thousands of pieces of art, thousands upon thousands of students, and I know how to get better fast and what works and what doesn't work. So some people like struggle for years just because they're constantly just watching YouTube videos, and they're always jumping from one teacher to the next, always trying different techniques, and they never settle on one. I'm not saying that it's bad to jump around, but you don't want to constantly jump around. You don't want to constantly go from one teacher to the next. Like if you think about college, students are with a teacher for like 30 weeks, and then they move on to the next teacher. So you can be with a teacher for like 2 or 3 hours, let alone 30 weeks on YouTube, and then you see another teacher and you see another piece of art that you really like, and you're like, oh yeah, this person's better. And so you haven't even gotten any feedback from them. And so it's a whole thing. Let me just look at this chat for a second. Do you start with the line of action whenever you start a figure drawing, or circles? Let me just get a scrap piece of paper. Every single drawing that you do is going to be different. So I could do line of action for one pose, and that line of action is on the torso, and then that would go down to that foot, that other foot, and then the head. So this is the line of action. So I see it on that pose, but sometimes I don't see it. Sometimes I partially see it. Like maybe there'd be like a front view pose, and the front view pose I might just start with the torso, and I'll work the front of the pose before I do anything else. And then I'll say, oh, okay, cool. This is the hip. This is maybe the shoulder, and the arm is kind of coming on down. And then I'll be like, oh, I see it now. I see like a little line of action, like right over here, going to the bottom of that foot, and then this upper leg and this lower leg, and then I connect the foot. So, and then I'll just come back and do a quick like little head like that. So this pose, yes, I saw the line of action. This pose, I did not. Now, so there's no right and wrong way. It's different for every single pose. Oh my God, are you just saying I'm on my way to a dentist appointment? I had a dentist appointment this morning. It was torture. It wasn't a cavity or anything like that. It was just a cleaning. But basically, the person, the dental hygienist, gave me their whole medical history and life story. And I'm just like with a mouthful of like water and cleaning solution, whatever they use. And I'm like, So I can't believe, what a small world. Okay, let's see here. Hi, Matt. Gabrielle here. Just wanted to let you know your channel has been an inspiration and a great source of learning since I discovered about 10 years ago. I appreciate you, Gabrielle. Thank you so much for that nice compliment. It means a lot. And, I'm just trying to be a little bit more devoted to the YouTube channel. It's hard when I'm teaching 3 days a week because I've got a pretty hardcore commute, and I'm not complaining. I absolutely love it, and I'm very, very grateful that I'm teaching at the college, and I wouldn't want to have it any other way. But it could beat your body up a little bit by the end of the semester, especially somebody old like me. And the other days I'm doing work on the website, the Zoom class. And so in the past, I haven't done as much on YouTube as I would have liked to. And so I'm trying to get back to it. I think it's important for me. It's important for my website. It's important for me to let people know who I am and how I can help you, because that's really the name of the game, is helping people. I've discovered, I've been doing this for so many years, that I actually like drawing this way in a classroom situation and talking with people versus just being alone. I've been alone like so much. It's a little boring. I like teaching better and drawing um, like this. You have a little bit more of an interaction. And once you start to draw with students in the classroom, it's hard to. I used to love like drawing alone in my studio, but I haven't done it like in a long time. I really just like drawing and teaching, and interacting with people along the way. Like it's so much fun. Okay, so what else can I do here? Hey, Kat, you missed your request last week. Our anatomy um, class. It was short, but it was fun. I'll see you on Friday, no doubt about it. Okay, let's see. What else can I do to this drawing in the remaining time that we have left? We've been at it for like an hour and 15 minutes because I was like doing other things talking before. So I would say an hour and 15 minutes is fair. Scapula. Um, I could work more on the face. I could go anywhere with this drawing. Yeah, next time, next time. So you had a little extra time for your homework. I know you kicked butt. I'm going to make this dark halftone a little bit darker. Just got to be careful I don't make in doing so, don't make the reflected light look too light. Um, I would have liked to have gotten a likeness with the model. Let me see. Let me work on this just a little bit more. I'm leaving so much on the table. It's choices, choices, choices. Go around the glute with your pencil stroke direction and back up top. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Sparrow does stuff. Yeah, sometimes I offer a class in the summertime at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and anyone can join. Um, I don't know if I'm going to do that this year, but it's fun because usually only like 4 or 5 people sign up. So we're at the Met for about like 3 hours, and we're just drawing together like 4 to 5 of us, and it's a really intimate setting, and it's beautiful there, and it's so much fun to draw there. Okay, let's see. Wasting a lot of time making this really dark, but I think it looks pretty. I'm trying not to overdo, but I definitely want to add this dark. Okay, so let's go back to the eyebrow. Look at the distance from the eyebrow to the hair. And don't go super dark with the eyebrow. It's dark, but don't go too dark with it. And now I'm seeing the eyelid line into the eyelashes, and they're very close to the front of the nose. So this is tiny, and you've got to tread lightly here. This is like so small. I'm barely going to do anything else with this. Sometimes when you're working on a head this small, less is best. That's the philosophy you've got to tell yourself. The more, like, look, let me get my ruler. So this is, like I said, 7/8 of an inch. The eye area is like a 16th of an inch. So yeah, this is too small for me to go too crazy with the details. So you just got to tread lightly and don't overdo it. Just a little bit, just a suggestion. Don't do the nostril. Leave it out. Just you don't want to have this dark underneath the model's nose. It's going to look weird. It's going to look like a mustache. So again, go with the philosophy of less is best when drawing a tiny. I'm not even going near that hand. Not a chance. Um, just not enough time today to do the hand. And I think it's an awkward hand. So I wouldn't want to draw it in anyways. I think that's fine for this sketch on YouTube. For me at least. Where's that little eraser? I okay, sketchbook recommendations. So, okay, let's just start with the spiral bound versus book bound. So, some people like the spiral bound sketchbooks because you could flip the page over and it's not like you're not fighting with it. It just becomes like a flat drawing pad when you do that. The bad thing about the spiral bound sketchbooks is that when you walk with them in your backpack or you're just walking in general, the pages like rub together and they smudge and it smudges the drawings. And that's the bad part of the spiral bound sketchbook. The good part about the book bound sketchbook is the pages don't rub together when you're walking, thus the drawings don't smudge. Um, but you can't fold the book bound sketchbook flat like the spiral bound sketchbook. So like there's pros and cons to both. And I don't really have a recommendation for a brand. You know, I like Moleskines. I don't love them for drawing. I just like that sketchbook because it's like the romantic sketchbook. I don't like the papers for drawing. Like if I had to get one, it would be a paper very close to the paper that I'm using here today, the Strathmore 400 series paper, because I just get good results with this paper. Um, okay, so let's leave that head area. I think that's fine for this class. Um, yeah, that's nice too, Kat. Thank you for that recommendation. I didn't even see that. That's really good if you're working with markers. I just, be careful with the spiral bound sketchbooks because if you're the type of person who likes to use them for their main purpose, drawing on location, and you're going to like the coffee shop or the park, where depending on where you live, and you're bringing your sketchbook and you're doing like a lot of walking, like the students at SVA do a lot of walking around the city. So if you're using a spiral bound sketchbook, your drawings are smudging, no doubt about it. Which kind of stinks, but yeah. So pros and cons. Okay, I think a few more minutes on this. Yeah, absolutely. I really, really like for now we're talking drawing pads, we're not talking sketchbooks. So for the drawing pads in the classroom, I like this. Um, I like my newsprint pad falls apart because it's glued, and that does not fall apart. So I'm going to just work on the feet just a little bit. They're looking a little not so good. Okay. Um, so I don't want to go too crazy with it, like with the outline thing. And this toe is to the left, and the big toe is also sitting on that lower leg to the left. You don't want to outline each toe 100%. Focus in on the edge. Okay, so this angles this is where I like the angles because it really helps me. Okay, and then we have this toe is casting a shadow on the ankle area. Very tiny once again. Then this heel is up off of the floor. There's a cast shadow over here, accent. Okay. And what else could I do? What else can I do? Let's work on this foot. I just did a video, a live stream maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago on YouTube. Go to my channel, and I did a class on how to draw hands. I think I might have also talked about feet. It's a pretty big topic to talk about in the remaining minutes that I have left on this live stream. But I have a recorded live stream that you can check out. And my idea is that I like this torso shape, the torso peanut. So if I grab this little sketch piece of paper here, and for the human body, that's the torso peanut shape. For the foot, this is the torso peanut shape. And then you do the big toe and then a couple of angles for the other toes, and then your ankle and your heel. And before you know it, you've got a pretty cool looking foot. And that's very, very rough, but that's how I like to use the same torso peanut shape for the foot. And this is the torso peanut shape for these feet. Now, when you do these folds of skin on the bottom of the foot, do not press down super duper hard on your pencil. You just want to suggest a couple of those folds of skin on the bottom of the foot. Don't go hardcore with that. Again, the philosophy on this is a tiny little drawing. I could work on this drawing for hours. But yeah, it's a tiny little drawing, so you've got to pick and choose your battles, especially in this time frame here, an hour and a half so far. Oh, this really drops down. So this I shouldn't even be outlining as much as I'm outlining. Goes up, up, and lower leg. Knee, back of the knee. Notice I didn't draw the other leg because it's in shadow. It's gonna look awkward near the butt. I'm just gonna leave that area kind of empty. Yeah, we actually just had a class. I taught a class last week on costume, and maybe that's a good idea for next week's class. So I don't have to worry about like the nudity thing. We'll do like a model who's with some fabric or costume. I think that could be really fun. All right, people. I think I'm going to be done here. Does anybody have any questions before I call this one quits? Again, I can keep working on this. So I do have a request. Maybe you can give this video a thumbs up. That would be helpful for me and the channel. Maybe you can leave a comment once the live stream is done and asking me, or suggesting a class, that would be pretty phenomenal. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I would love it if you could subscribe. I have a sketchbook video coming out maybe this evening around 4:30. I'm sorry, 5:30, 6 p.m. New York time. It's a pretty good sketchbook, student of mine, and drawings are really delicate, beautiful drawings. Rain's sketchbook. I think I've got to go eat something before my next class. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. There's so much I'm leaving on the table in terms of all the details over here. There's so much more I could do to this drawing, but I think for an hour and a half, it's working. It's fine. Yeah. Oh, Raw Dot. Oh, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Raw Dot HF. Thank you so much. That was so very kind of you. So Raw Dot F just contributed, and wow, that is so kind of you. Thank you so much. Now listen, please, I would love it, Raw Dot HF, if you could leave a comment when this live stream is finished in the comment section requesting a lesson. I would love to teach you something. Maybe you're struggling with something, a specific way to draw a portrait, hands, feet, landscape, fabric, how to draw hair. What is something that I can help you with? That would be really, really killer. Yeah, I would love to do a whole like day lesson, hour, whatever you want to call it, a live stream for you. That would be freaking phenomenal. All right, I think we're going to put this one to bed. Yeah, thank you so much. Super chat. Wow, that was so nice. Thank you, Rawdaw. Let's see. Let me switch cameras here and be all professional. I hope you got something out of this. It was a lot of fun. I'm leaving a lot on the table here. Let me switch cameras. And yes, cool. Yeah, this is the Big Mooka book. I've got two different Big Mooka books. But this thing here is a flipping gem. And I'll give you the ISBN. So I'm not going to read it, but it's there. Yes, if you want to write it down. I know that's small. See how much they're going for. Hair. Okay, Angelia, you've got it. Hair. So I'll just try to look for one more beautiful Mooka drawing. I've got another book across the way. My God, these books are... yeah. Even this... Let me move my microphone for a second. Even this, the jewelry drawing. Oh, my God. Like, look at that little figure inside of the brooch. So good. Landscapes, Marie. Okay. Okay, so Raw Daw, you got it, Marie. Raw Daw, please give me a suggestion for what you would like me to teach next week, and that would be very meaningful to me. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We've got hair, we've got clothing, we've got landscapes. Thank you, everybody. $69 it costs. Okay, that's a bargain. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you all next week, okay? Hair it is. We're going to do how to draw hair. That's my favorite class. I love drawing hair. It's so much fun. All right, cool. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you next week. Have a good day.